Okay, welcome to Friday afternoon Q&A and just general chit-chat session. I've got the PC in front of me, so hopefully I can engage in the conversation on chat as well. Hopefully the audio's okay. I've got the separate mic set up here. So I said on my GPLama Facebook page, I'll be going live in a few hours. Here we are. So look, this one's all about everyone who's watching. So ask questions. Social Spinner's in the house, I see. He's come in second though on the comments. So I have nothing to talk about here. I've got nothing set up, but it's all just whatever comes through in the chat. So hopefully I can do a refresh here and enjoy the chats. Oh, look at everyone joining in. Hello from the USA. I think it's about 10:30 in the USA. It's still pretty early in the morning over in the UK. So let me get set up here. And if Facebook wants to play ball, sorry, YouTube wants to play ball, I can see the chat. Give me one sec, guys. It's telling me I'm streaming now. This is a good thing. Here we go. Okay, just loading up everything. The chat doesn't seem to be working. So, hello from Slovakia. 6:32 AM in Slovakia. Let's go, Sagan. Eli, is that how you pronounce your name? Is it Eli? It's not Ellie, is it? It's Eli. Let me know. Can't get this live chat working though. Hopefully the audio is coming through okay. I've got this beast. It's late in the US. Ellie. I murder the English language, as I've said before, so apologies if I completely stuff that up. What's a good workout time for someone with, or what's a good workout for someone with little time? Whatever you can squeeze in. Whatever you can squeeze in. Audio is great compared to the Zwift stream. Ah, good. It's all about the right equipment. Heard anything about carbon bikes in trainers? Nothing. I should look into that, shouldn't I? Watching from bed. That's creepy. Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, I think I'll get mostly US people at this time zone. So hello to all our American friends. I'm trying to get live chat working on the computer here. Sorry for it being a bit meta and me complaining about the tech. But if I could actually have live chat actually working here, I could scroll back through. Larry King, Mike, anything on the Wahoo Mini? Nothing on the Wahoo Mini yet. I kept looking at the FCC website to see if there's been any pictures or anything. In my jocks again. Hang on. No. The same one pair of shorts that I own I've worn all summer, I think. And the same, $20 t-shirt as well. Not much of a fashionista here. Pop out chat. I'm seeing if I can get this working. Live chat. I'm getting nothing in the live chat. So it looks like the chat on YouTube is limited to the mobile app. That sucks. Will Maven make the finish line on the Indy Pack? I've got no idea. I think we should go to sports bet on that one. Review of the NPE device. So North Pole Engineering, the cable device. Is that the one you're talking about? I have used it. Haven't gotten around to sort of digging fully into it yet, but it's a good solution if you need to convert ANT to Bluetooth for any requirement there. Any involvement in Indy Pack for you? None whatsoever. I'm just a spectator. Wheel balancing worked. Awesome. How many kilometers today? What did I do? 40 this morning and another 4 to go pick the car up from servicing. So not a lot, but good work on the TT bike today. I liked it. Can I do the talk on the Dynamo Hub someday? I don't have one, and I'm not looking at purchasing one. If I come across one, maybe. Not a requirement for me at the moment, though. Mention this on Facebook. Oh yeah, 19,000 subs today. I'll talk about the last 3 days since that wheel balance video. That's one of those ones where people have gone, oh shit, really? Okay, I'll try it, and it actually relates to them, so it's come out quite well. Yeah, the subs have been probably 150 a day for the last 3 days, which has been kind of cool. And then again, yeah, I mean, it's the subs and it's the views and it's the people talking. It's everyone watching now. That's who counts here. I'm not selling anything. I'm just doing my thing. So everyone who's watching and gains from whatever. And I learned from the comments as well. It's really good. Someone just updated the... I was having trouble with Garmin Verb Edit. If you put a massive timeline of, say, 45 minutes and the Garmin has put in... GoPro has put 4 or 5 different files there. I couldn't line the whole thing up, so that's been a pain in the ass. Someone's commented before of how I can fix that, so I'll look into that tonight. I never understand why wheel balance has never been spoken about in sport, in the cycling before. Probably because it's not really easily measurable. But you saw the difference in the video. The bike shakes. The bike didn't shake. There's energy there somewhere. Quite a few people have stood up for the wheel companies saying, I shouldn't throw them under the bus because, the wheels are probably perfectly balanced without a tyre. That's a load of shit. You put who runs a wheel without a tyre on it? It's like, and I've replied in one of the comments, if you go to the car shop, you buy an expensive car, you drive down the road and it starts doing this, or that's inefficient with fuel, you take it back and they say the rims are perfect. Nothing wrong with the car. The rims are perfect. There's being theoretically correct, and then there's the user experience. And if people have been hanging around here for a long time, I'm all about the user experience. I'm just an end user for most of this technology. And buying a bike with the wheels that shake, what the hell's with that? The Subaru chats with Von, absolutely. They're heaps of fun. We can just turn that on, and it makes time go so much quicker when we're driving somewhere too. We don't have anywhere lined up to drive, so yep. Yeah, the wheel balance was clearly measurable. Yeah, but I can't. People want watts. Yeah, we're so conditioned for this saves you 2 watts, 2 minutes, this and that. If you haven't got that data, people are like, oh, what's the point? But it's like saying, hey, I'm pissed off at your comment. Can I measure that? No. Does it affect me? Yeah. So it's like trying to measure emotions. But yeah, throw them under the bike, exactly. What kind of structured training are you doing? Time trial training. Is live the new easy video editing? Hell yes. It's raw. It's not a marketer's dream because, if you're sprinting on a Neo and it comes out smelling like fish, they don't want to hear that. There's some swearing because, hey, I swear. So the live stuff's easy, but it's raw. Whether it actually impacts my brand as such, in a negative way, I don't know. This is not a business for me. I'm just a guy with a camera and a bike who's a bit sort of obsessed with technology and just poking things. So Shimano wheel failures. How funny was that? Well, it wasn't funny for those guys, but they had 3 wheel breaks in that time trial. Wheels are the one thing that the UCI does certify. So that was my query back to Cycling Central when they said they were doing a podcast on Cycling Central the other day saying, what should we talk about? I'm like, well, how about the UCI wheel certification integrity? And it's exactly the same wording that Cycling Tips used today in one of their articles. I'm really disappointed the live chat can't work on the computer here. I'll get a decent connection and it's just these live stuff is so much easier for me to do. Why no, just time trial training, why no VO2 max high intensity? I'm not going to give away any secrets. Time trial training should include VO2 max training, shouldn't you? Got to bump that up. Shimano's never had any wheel problems. Yeah, I don't know. They're pushing limits. I guess they won't be doing that again though, will they? You've bought a TT bike thanks to my vlogs. Wow, really? That's kind of cool. Go hard. I love TTs. Today it was the first time I've been on I went and did the Horsham Triathlon about a month ago. I haven't taken the TT bike out a lot. It's been mostly indoors on the Lama. I went out today on a flat stretch of road and just buried my head down and the bike just flew. I love that shit. It just moved so fast. And just tucking my head down, doing a lot of strength work indoors has really helped. I've been on the Lama and that really maps outdoor inertia. You on any diet? No, just food. What year is the Shiv? I think the Shiv's a 2011, 2010. It's the same UCI certified model though, so it's the old school bike, but it's all about position. Best wheel set that I have, I run the Zip 900 on the rear. I love that disc. On the front, Stinger 90, I like that. How did I place in the race a few days back? You've got to watch the video right to the end. Or you can fast forward to the end. There's no new Shiv. No, there's no new Shiv for the time trial / UCI one that I'm aware of either. Once you get a design like that, they've done really well. That's why I've kept it. Von has one as well. So we've got 2 Shivs. You change the group set if you want to 11 speed. I'm still 10 mechanical. But where all the development is over on the triathlon side of things, where the rules are a lot more open. Interested in a review of the Shimano Power Meter. Will I try them? Look, I don't have any industry. I have some industry contacts as such, but I don't work in a bike store. I don't have any. I'm not a preferred reviewer or anything. I don't even see myself as a reviewer. Someone said the other night, "Oh, you've got the hammer. You're going to be putting out a review of the hammer." No, I've got one. yeah, and I'll do a video on it, but I don't see myself as a reviewer. I'm just riding bikes and pissing around. I guess with 19,000 followers, there's a responsibility to say the right things and not swear on a live stream. But look, there is so many reviewers out there, and there's so many, and it's all marketing driven as well, and that just lames the shit out of me. So my stuff's mainly just like, this is what's happened to me. This is me riding a bike. Here's my analysis of certain things. I'm glad it's sort of getting the hits it's getting, but I can't really take requests. People are saying, "Oh, can I test this? Can I test that? Can I go and buy this for their own interest?" It's a bit hard for me. Giant versus S-Works, which do I prefer? I prefer outdoor and indoor. Indoor and outdoor, I can't tell any difference. Outdoors, I like the S-Works a little better just for the geometry of the frame. That could be fixed with a different size Giant though. Bike, same. Longest ride on the TT bike and average speed of that ride. I did 200 and something Ks on one of the, what do they call it again? Rafa 500. I did 200 Ks. So I'm just going to, you'll see my hand do this because I'm scrolling back through the questions. 200 Ks on the TT bike for the Rafa 500 on Christmas Day. The next day, I was shot. That killed me. Most of my stuff's probably between 15 and 25 Ks for the master/age group time trial stuff, which allows us really good training indoors because you can just whack out some short efforts and back-to-back those and get outside. It relates really well. The longer stuff, you've got to do a lot more training for. Your reviews are unbiased and no filters. Much needed battle in industry marketing. Yeah, that's a double-edged sword though, because if I don't sing the praises of a product, they're not going to like me or they're not going to send me anything. Look at the Tax Flux. I had 2 of those pretty much burned to the ground on me. I'm surprised Tax even still answer my emails, but that's, funnily enough, Cycling Tips did a review of the Tax Flux and didn't mention anything about the failures. So there's your difference right there. And I guess the power of the internet is you get to choose which reviews you take your advice from. I was pretty quick on the comment section of the Cycling Tips one though, because really, come on, people, no fake news around here. Can I say hello to your 10-year-old son Arthur? How you doing, Arthur? How many Ks did you do today? Or miles? You might have done miles on the bike. Do you buy the trainers or are you given them? Good question. Most of them I buy, but some of them I actually get given, which is kind of cool. But I won't accept anything if they say this about this trainer or say this about this trainer or don't say this. Anything that I actually get, the proviso is pretty much, can I live stream this from unboxing to riding? And are you comfortable with that? And if they're not, I don't want to touch it. Because the catch with that is if you go live and something breaks, everyone's going to know about it. So there's nothing to hide here. You joined the Tour de France? No, too old for that. Do I have a cycling tip for cycling a very, very big hill? I think that's from Demon Ninja. A very, very big hill. Pace yourself. Know your numbers. That's where a power meter comes in handy. Riding out in the road, someone asked me, I get a question quite a lot, should I buy a power meter or a smart trainer? The answer is both. Or buy one, and if it doesn't work out, flog it off and buy another. Buy something different. Life's too short to piss around worrying about what you should buy. But anyway, power meters outside, riding up and down. Like in the other day's race, I couldn't even see the thing. It was irrelevant. But up a long hill, looking at your numbers and knowing your zones and picking a number, it's really good for the motivation. If you want to hold, say, 240 up a hill, 230, 340, 400, however, your genetic limit is, power meters are really good for that. So just know your numbers, know your heart rate zones as well. Okay, just going to scroll back through a few questions here. I've really got to get a better connection set up. I really, really enjoy these, and the interaction with everyone, I really appreciate the questions. So, and I don't do any study for these either. So whatever comes up, I'll have a crack at answering. Come to Europe and watch the TDF, not ride it. What about both? Can't we do the Letapta tour? Is that something you can do? Okay, bought a new kicker 4 months ago after following your videos. Excellent. There needs to be an affiliate program there, doesn't there, for Wahoo? I'll have a chat to him. The bunch ride's much better for sure. Yeah, look, I got on the hammer last night. I've got a hammer for 4 days. After riding the Lama for weeks and weeks and weeks for my specific training that I'm doing, I jumped on the hammer and then the road goes up and down. I'm like, oh shit, that's it. That's what I've been missing. Yeah, that interactiveness, because sometimes you just want to get on and go for a ride, and indoors you can now just jump on and go for a ride with your mates or a group or anything. It's just another option to ride. Oh, camera, sorry. So yeah, the smart trainer for that, the immersion's pretty cool. The VR is where it's at though. I've tried, oh god, the VR goggles I tried over at Eurobike, it's so hard to explain what it's like. You can look around and the environment, it's already there. The environment is already there. It's all 3D. I'm just going to play with this camera so it doesn't fall over. That's the next level VR stuff. But Zwift aside, the other companies that do things like virtual reality, like whatever that, Forgaz and Kinomap, what's another one, Sufferfest, those that do sort of static videos that roll past, as soon as they go 3D, and you can sort of put the visor on and look down and look around and familiarize yourself with your environment, and pick, what I do for time trials is pick certain trees, certain marks on the road, things like that. Once true 3D immersion is in those things, that market you may see that market just take off like nothing else. But 3D, bring it on. It's going to be so good. Hang on, guys. Sorry, I'll just go back past the questions here. Smaller frame with a longer stem? Yeah, hell yeah. Smaller frames are usually a bit stiffer. That's what most of the pros do. Most of the pros have got stems fucking out here and a smaller frame. They say it's because the smaller frames are stiffer. Rouse the guy for that one, though. Why do I have so many bike trainers? But I know you use them, but have like 5 or something. I counted 14 today. A few reasons. If there's a kicker under $1,000, I'll buy it because that's damn cheap and I know I can flip it for more than that. What I've been doing lately, though, is hiring them out. People who break collarbones, they want a smart trainer, want to just try it out. People who want to try trainers, smart trainers out before making that $1,500 purchase, I rent them out for like $50 a week. So it's sort of, it's like a drug dealer here. Just have a little bit first and then come see me. Illicit drugs, not performance enhancing. That's my reference there. Don't take me out of context. Best bike remedy for lower back issues, tall guy. No, I'm not a bike fit guy. I will contort myself into a shit position for speed. So comfort, no. New Strava updates for the mobile. What do I think about their Strava mobile app? What was the updates? I think it was some security preferences there, which take away from my ability to pull those stats out that I've been pulling out behind the scenes with both API calls. I've actually got some stats here I was going to do live on screen. I'll do them in a sec. There's a lot of questions coming through. I've got the Orange ride here in Australia. It was Orange, New South Wales. If anyone's watching and done the ride and did the 160k ride, I've pulled down all the stats from that, having what head units people were using. I can get things like average weight now too, and if people are using power meters, if they're, I'll pull the stats out in a sec. We'll have a run through them. Best GPS bike computer on a best GPS bike computer on a budget. Any secondhand Garmin. Pick up secondhand's great marketplace. There was a Garmin 510 today for $200 Australian. I wanted to buy one of those, but someone has got me. API stands for Application Programming Interface. So Strava has when you log into Strava, you've got the website, and there's data that comes up there. An API would be a sort of a back-end way of querying that in another direction via command lines or programs and things to pull out similar data, but just more efficiently. Yeah, Vegan Cyclist Breathe video. That was great. Tyler's work on that was really, really good. He's a great channel as well. So shout out to the Vegan Cyclist. And I think one of the things I will say about the Vegan Cyclist, he's not one of those vegan or I'll punch you in the face kind of guy. He's like, be vegan if you want. I am. Here's what I'm doing. And that's brilliant. He's not sort of preaching it on people. So I jumped in one of his live chats the other day. And that was really good. Any tips to overcome pain when pushing hard? That's what I was talking to Dr. Slane about yesterday. Really, really interesting because, hang on, let me explain. When you first start getting back into doing intervals, say 5x5s, they suck. You can push almost, you don't lose a lot of fitness if you keep riding, but it's being uncomfortable and learning how to be comfortable while being uncomfortable. Makes no sense whatsoever. And I said, Slane, tell me about what's going on here. And he says there's methods of dealing with pain and dealing with the being uncomfortable that you become accustomed to. So it becomes normal to be at a high heart rate. If it's something that's unfamiliar to you, you'll feel uncomfortable and you want to shut off. For me, I'm about 5 weeks into some TT training, and now when I'm at like 360, 370, 380 out on the road, that hurts. But I'm like, this is the zone I need to be in, and I've got the confidence that I've been in that zone quite a bit lately. So dealing with the pain, there's no shortcuts with that. Yeah. Numbness just inevitable, or is it something else? Depends on where you're talking about the numbness. What is the best starting power meter? It depends on budget. Look, Stages when they work. 4i, there's a few others in the market. So you like dip your toe in the water with a cheap one. And again, resale value on anything cycling or anything cycling tech is actually pretty good. So let's just say you jump in, you get a 4i power meter, and you're like, okay, but I want a little bit more, or it doesn't quite suit my needs. Put it up in the buy, swap, sell groups on Facebook or something. Get rid of it. Just go next. Like how people turn cars over on a lease. Have I tried cyclocross? No, but I've gone down and watched quite a bit. One of my profile pictures on, can't remember what it is. I think it's the Zwift mobile app. Is me at a cyclocross race standing there with a big shit grin on my face because I'm covered in shit and mud and stuff anyway, have a look at the photo. It's pretty funny. Importance of frame material for non-racers riding on the road: carbon, steel, aluminium, or titanium. To be honest, whatever. I have had alloy bikes, I've had carbon bikes. I'm not that sensitive to, this is better than the other, or this, laterally, vertically compliant and that. All I know is my shit doesn't break. That's really all that matters for me. And it's kind of light. You don't really ride a boat anchor around. Would I do mountain biking? I have in the past. Love it. But what I hate being a roadie. You go, it's about miles and miles and miles over the hours. On a mountain bike, you go out and ride for a few hours. I'm like, what, 24 Ks? Where the hell? But the skills that mountain bikers have, brilliant. They're ballsy. Thoughts on red blood cell booster counts, triathlon, red blood cell boost. Sorry, the supplements to boost your red blood cells. There we go. I finally got it out, and the answer is that. What a crock of shit. PubMed is the website you need to go to for all the peer-reviewed articles and things like that. If you really want to dive into what works and what doesn't, anything with a PubMed link to it, with the science behind it, that's where it goes. Anything that's been put on a magazine with claims that are too good to be true. Travelled around Europe, haven't raced around Europe. That's called EPO. Ellie, was that right, Ellie? Please tell me if I got it right, mate, because you're a regular contributor here. I want to get your name right. But you're spot on. I don't think it's pub.med, it's PubMed. I think my VO2 articles about with Dr. Slane links to things out of PubMed. But it's the medical publications. All right, the questions have subsided a little. Let me jump on here. I won't be able to show you the screen, but I've got the data here from the Orange, Ride Orange. It's a bicycle networks in Australia. It's a big sort of fondo, not a race, but everyone goes balls out hard. Distance ride that was on last weekend. I've gotta love Mac OS X with the command prompt here. Bash shell, sorry, I'll get that right. I've got 438 rides from the Orange ride. I can tell you the devices used. I should do a whole video on this, but while we're here. All right, can anyone guess the number one device used, the GPS device used out of 438 people? Have a guess. The number one, I won't say Garmin, because we all know it's a Garmin. Questions, I'll take questions. I'll take guesses for the... okay, Adam wins. It's the Garmin Edge 520. Out of 438 rides, there we go. Everyone's got the 5. Everyone loves the 520. Isn't that? Yeah, bang. Everyone's on it. Okay, the Garmin Edge 520 has it was 114 Garmin Edge 520s. That's number one spot. Number two spot is the Strava on the iPhone at 71. So 114, 71 second place. Third place, Garmin Edge 510. I think everyone got the Edge 510 guessed as well there. 510 had 62. The iPhone came in second place. 71. What this is, if people haven't got it, I've got some scripts and some stuff in the back end of Strava, and I can pull out a segment or a ride or a run, anything on Strava. I can pull out a certain time zone and then grab some data out of that. Now, the API gives us a little bit of info, but I then do some extra work and really pull down some interesting stuff. The M450, not listed. This is the Magellan Cyclo. Comes in at like, there's 3 of those. The Wahoo Element 9, woohoo! Element's quite low. The Element is quite low in all my stats. The Android comes in with 12. Take that, Android people. I love you all anyway. How long into the stream are we? I've got no idea. 25 minutes. God, really? API. Okay, Mike's on the view on the live as well. Okay, shout outs to Zwiftalizer.com if you ever need, and I'll do an entire video on this with even talking to Mike, because I'll give you a proper review of it. Zwiftalizer.com. It's a community project by Mike, who's in the live chat now. It's a brilliant resource. You can actually just drag your Zwift log files in there and see where. Have a look at it if you ever need to troubleshoot anything. Really, really good. Plus the benchmarking as well. So if you need to know what video card to upgrade that runs Zwift really well, Zwiftalizer.com. I will do an entire video about this. Want that shirt? Okay, here's where I can start selling you guys something. Yeah, I've been accused of having ulterior motives of selling something in the last couple of days with actually the CompuTrainer video. I got called out for, hey, why are you throwing rocks at CompuTrainer? I called them out because I think that guy's an old... No, I won't go there. It was very interesting, his comments about Japan. No, it was about China that weren't right. I'll stop there. I wasn't trying to sell anyone anything with that. Just an observation. And there's some history of why the kicker exists. So, these t-shirts, redbubble.com. If you type in GPLama, Redbubble, I've got a few t-shirts that I've ripped off a few logos. Sorry, I created a few logos. And there's like it's the Strava thing that I'm having a bit of fun with. So you can buy those t-shirts from there. They're worldwide. It's Redbubble's a Melbourne company, which is kind of cool. Come to tour of California. I'll give you a place to stay. Awesome! As long as you're not the guy who wanted to murder me the other night. Just confirm that and we're there. Yeah, looking forward to the tour of California. Always loved that. And the stages are on early morning here to watch. Oh, that was the other guy. Oh, okay. Someone admitted to wanting to murder me. How to make a duo? Could I put it together? Sorry, I talk fast and I can't even read well. Can I put together a video on how to make a DIY wheel balancing rig? Yes. See your bike? Turn it upside down. Wheel balancing rig. Doing 3 peaks? No, but I will be ripping out everyone's data from 3 peaks, so make sure you upload to Strava and we'll run through the stats. Zwift for max frame rates. Go to a Windows machine. Windows with NVIDIA. Max for gaming. Oh, what can I say there without pissing anyone off? They're shite. I've got a Mac here, MacBook Pro. It's terrible for gaming. The 15-inch with a dedicated video card's much better. Where did the name Lama come from? GPLama, God's Pet Lama, as in Dalai Lama, as in just a nickname from high school from years and years and years ago. And when things like GeoCities, Hotmail, and BBSs and dial-ups come out, it was a very unique username that no one else had. So I just grabbed it. People have then shortened that to Llama with one L because they're lazy, and then alpacas and things, and it's just caught on. Any reason why I race with vets instead of CACV clubs? Just there's more racing. There really is more racing, more options. Like the other day, it was nice and sunny out and just rolled down, had a race in the morning. Going to a vet's license, well, I've got both licenses. Just doubles the options. How about Chinese wheels? Don't touch them. How did I get into cycling? Way back when. Always ridden a bike to and from school, being from country Victoria. CACV are useless. Look, I know a few people at CV and they're brilliant people. They're doing really well with what they've got. So, yeah, no, I like the guys there. But, yeah, that's bigger than just a few really good people. How did I get into bike? Always rode. Then I always rode to and from work. I used to think 12Ks was a big ride. And then we went and did a tour of the Grampians. If you saw some videos, I was back up there a couple of weeks back in the Grampians. I love that place. So much so I fall off my bike and hug the ground. We did a cycle tour through there. And I remember seeing, we were riding back into town. There was 40Ks to go. And that was a bit of a change. I'm like, I've never ridden 40Ks before. We've got 40Ks to go. And then I've just kept on and we got it done and always cycled. The competitive side, just ripping up and down the bike paths. Met someone who said, you should give racing a try. And my first race was down at the criterium track, which I put up the video of yesterday. So my first race down there in D grade. Did Von and I get into it at similar times? Not the competitive side. Von's always ridden as well. Her old man was a pro racer, so Von's always been into bikes and around bikes, but Von sort of got dragged around to all my races and went, bugger this, I want to give it a shot. And women's racing was coming up and up and up, and I fully supported her jumping on the bike and giving it a shot, and she did. And I mentioned the other night in the live as well that she got to the pinnacle of where she was at. She won the Australian Masters Women Time Trial Champ for her age group, which had me in tears when she won it. I was about 5 minutes before I took off on my ride for that year, but I was just bizarre, but I absolutely tore that one a new arsehole after all our really good training. And Von tore it a new arsehole as well. So Von's awesome. No Indy pack. Nah. We were all there when 10K was like, whoa, yeah. Do I battle with off-bike depression? No, not really. Look, I'll admit, the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is pretty fucking lonely, though. No one I've got no one to report to. No one, when you got a job and you're sort of doing stuff. I could sit on the couch all day and just research shit all day. When I flew to the US, it was 15 hours, and we had an internet connection. I just sat there and I can rabbit hole and get nothing done. That's depressing. It's not ticking any boxes, though, so that's a bit shit. If you don't ride, you get that. You feel like you're, I don't know, it's probably, the ex-athlete thing, but only in small doses. Oh, the Crossroads is paid for a super chat. Oh, I hope that's come up. No, it hasn't, because that's crap. Let me have a look. Now, somebody's asked me a super chat question. The way they monetize questions these days, but I can't actually do anything with that. Crossroads 09, I really appreciate the $2. But your question hasn't actually come up on here. I'm just going to send me an email, mate. I'll get back to you direct, I promise. If there was a question in that as well, that was. I need to get a t-shirt that says, I'm not riding Indy Pack. Yeah, how come the name Lama come about? High school nickname. Mentioned it previously in the video here. Reason I asked is a broken foot. I struggled immensely being off the bike. Yeah, it's those endorphins. If we ride a bike, yeah. Did I ever race juniors? No, I got into cycling way too late. Never raced juniors. So yeah, I broke my hip. I think the longest I've been off the bike was probably 2 or 3 weeks. As soon as I couldn't walk, but I could sort of get the leg over the bike and sort of pedal away a little bit. But as soon as, especially if you're on any painkillers, that shit is toxic. As soon as you can start getting blood through your system and start sweating again, it's very addictive cycling. Fastest speed of reaching a bike, probably about 102, 103 k's an hour. Best mountain climb ever. Don't know. Well, I've done the Stelvio and the Gavia Pass. They were pretty special, but I need to get back there on my bike. What do I think of microburst? 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Oh, yeah. You can't do a lot. You can't do volume of that, though. You can't do that. If you want to get really sharp for a race, probably 2 or 3 weeks out, the micro stuff works really, really well. But they're a bit of a mind game as well. You don't look forward to those sessions. I'd love to do a video, and I was thinking the vegan cyclist put up a video called Breathe. Somebody referred to it before. Great motivational video. I was thinking doing something different, doing the opposite. And I spoke about this the other night. Doing something that says how fucking hard cycling is. And just showing that, hit the numbers, ride hard, hit the numbers, crash, fuck. But it's sort of ripping his idea off, but in the reverse direction. I don't want to do that. But for me, it's a lot of negativity around the training, and it's a lot of guilt stuff. It's like if you don't hit the numbers, you feel like shit. A lot of it's all self-driven accountability. You want to hit those numbers, you've got to do that, or you've failed that session, and this and that. Like that's what I think every athlete goes through, and it's not just cycling; it's across the board. And when you do hit the numbers, it's all good. But the next day, it starts all again. Ever done track cycling? Yeah, I have. Raced the Masters Nationals Pursuit Kilo. Did the Omnium here as well for the state champs in Masters stuff. I held the Australian record for the Pursuit 3Ks at, was it 3:27? I think it's been beaten by now. But it was just sort of short time trial, so I was really perfecting the warm-up techniques. I think my best kilo was 107 on the track. What do I think about over under? Absolutely. If that replicates what you're doing in a race, absolutely, you've got to train for it, because you can't do in a race what you haven't done before in training. And over-unders in a crit, if someone else is dictating the pace, you're going over, you're going under, you're going over, you're going under, and you've got to be ready for that. So in training, if you haven't done that, like, you'll be uncomfortable. Aero wheels never make a great improvement. Aero wheels will never make a great improvement in speed. I think that's a statement. Aero wheels help. Well, they tick a box. Like, once you've reached your limit, you start looking at other areas as well. If you can, get to 0.5% out of your wheels, pressure in the tires, things like that, you tick all boxes. Do I think Lance cheated? I think Lance played the game, and he played it well. That's the game that was what's on the table at the time. Maven beats Durian Rider in the Indian Pacific. Whoa. Don't know. First TT, what are the 3 essential things to bear in mind? Don't start too hard. Don't start too hard. Do not start too hard. There you go. Perfect TT. With a time trial and a power meter, what you'll notice straight away, if you've focused on it, if it's you're on, it's your game on that day, you'll start the time trial and your power meter will tell you to just back it off. So your power meter tells you don't go so hard, because you'll be feeling good. You've trained for that. You've trained to feel good. So you'll be way over threshold. And about 3K down the road or 4K down the road, things turn around. So it's like, keep a lid on it, 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 because your power will be through the roof. It flips, and it's that flip. If you don't know where that flip is, you dive. If you can just keep that lid on it, and soon, it's coming, the pain's coming, it's catching up to you, and then it flips around. Your power meter then becomes, get it up, get the power up. You can do it, get the power up. So there's a real, I could do a whole video on just that. It's just where things switch over. And if you know that's coming, you will never blow up in a time trial. Another thing in a time trial as well is when you finish, if you're finishing the last K at like stupidly high watts, you've mispaced it. What you need to do is lift in a time trial, but knowing how far back down the road you can lift. I used to lift like 1K to go. You can always just unleash everything, even if you're slaughtered. 1K to go, everyone can ride hard for a K. And I've started looking at, okay, well, 2Ks back, how much can I lift? 3Ks back, how much can I lift? If you lift, say, 3% for the last 5Ks, it's better than lifting 6% in the last 1K. So it's the average. You can never make up time in a time trial. Please look into Howard Stern's interview of Lance. Yeah, I like to look forward, not backwards. Having said that, it was interesting to see where Wahoo came from. 40K time trial flat cadence. Whatever you're built for, everyone has different cadences, and whatever you train for. If you're not training if you're not racing in the zones you're training in, it's going to be foreign and it's not going to work too well for you. So whatever you're training, whatever works for you. When's my next major race? I don't know. I haven't got anything. I've got something lined up in the future, but we'll talk about that when it's over. Crossroads has asked you that question they paid for. Oh, sorry. I'll scroll back through. Sorry, Crossroads. I'll go back here and. YouTube really need to pick up their game. If they're pushing us all to go live to get channel stuff, I can't. There we go. Cool. There, I've got it. Your thoughts on Copenhagen Wheel and app development associated with it. Your thoughts on the Copenhagen Wheel and app? I don't know it. I'm going to Google that right now. I know Copenhagen bike lanes are absolutely shite and dangerous here in Australia. Copenhagen Wheel. Here we go. What the hell is this? Once I get set up with streaming, guys, I'll be able to pull in what I'm looking for, what I'm searching at, and we can have a much richer experience rather than you watching me Google stuff. The Copenhagen Wheel. Okay. What is this? Okay, rather than bore the shit out of everyone of me saying what the WTF, I'm going to look into that. There's a video on that too. It looks like one of those tri-spoke things that you pedal across the lake with. and there's ducks swimming between. What do I think of the new Kask helmet? Haven't seen what the road helmet or TT helmet. The old TT Kask Bambinos is an interesting one. I don't know about the new ones, but I'll talk about the old ones. The Kask Bambinos. A lot of the juniors' parents went out and bought them because they were the newest, they were the greatest, they were the this. They weren't. They were slower in a straight line with a stubby tail. It's all about where your head is in relation to your back. So typically a longer tail helmet's better for everyone. Depends on how much you move your head around though. Thoughts on Strava times displaying wind and weather conditions? Hell yeah, absolutely. I've gone out and nabbed some comms with a big tailwind. And that's, if someone else tries to get those, it's quite depressing. So it would be good to say, have just even a little direction, wind speed right up your butt for like 30 or 40k an hour, and here's why I got the comm. Yeah, I'm all for that. That's a great suggestion for Strava. Do I still like my P1s? Absolutely. Yeah. I had to replace a battery in the right one last night though when I was testing it against the Hammer. But yeah, I really like the P1s. The 0 degree float cleats. Mountain climb. Mountain climb you have ridden but would like to, but I haven't ridden or would like to do. Alpe d'Huez. I've got to go do Alpe d'Huez one day for sure. That's just so iconic. Should I shave my legs? Hell yeah. Go for it. I also do my arms. I should put up in the demotivational video I was going to do, I was going to show all my crashes. I've had that arm ripped open. Yeah, there we go. There's the scars. There and there. And the hardest part about that was pulling the bandages on and off arm hair. Fuck, that hurt. So I do my arms now as well because I'm going to come off. I don't want it to hurt that much. I'm a pussy when it comes. I shave. More stats on the orange ride. I've got the Copenhagen Wheel, so I'll look into it. More stats on the orange ride though. So we know the Garmin Edge 520 was the number one device everyone used, then the iPhone, then the 510, then the 810, then the 500, then the 1000. The 820 was so low. What else have I got here though? Just one sec. Number of power meter users for this orange 160k ride. Power meter usage was 23% of people had power meters on their bike. That's not too bad, but I mean 160k ride, that's a long way to ride. People are training for that, so that's FYI, the command I just ran then was history pipe grep. Okay, premium members 689 in my history list. Number of premium members or percentage of premium members, 49% premium members for Strava for this event, the orange ride. Men versus women, gender. Sorry, this is probably boring as all shit for everyone else, but I like the data. Okay, 390 males, 40 females. So that's still a pretty good showing. 40 females are at 160k, so 100 miles. That's pretty good. But the numbers is just, I mean, we've seen it's always just such a male-dominated sport. Is Strava Premium worth it? For the data analysis, it's not too bad. I pay for Strava Premium because I want to support Strava and I want to see them keep moving. If I ever throw a rock their way of, hey, they should have this and should have that, it gives me a bit of voting power, maybe. But I support what they do. Same with Training Peaks. I've got an account for those guys as well. Oh, Chris Ma. I was going to do a video on just this because I'm all about videos and talking about them and not doing them. There was a Canberra-based MP wanting to use Strava to fine cyclist for cycling too fast. Let me go fucking apeshit on this. So this guy's come out and saying we should use Strava to stop people speeding on paths, blah, 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 blah. And he's linked to a ride where he did 62 kilometers per hour on a bike path. And people are saying they should use this data to fine riders and all that sort of shit. They linked to his ride and he didn't even have one kudos or one comment. Where he did that 61.5 Ks, he was recording with a freaking iPhone, which is shit for GPS data. And there was a data abnormality, right? It was wrong. He never actually hit that speed. It was, you could see it just jags up. He went from 28 kilometers per hour to 61 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds. So it was a data shag up. And they're referring to this guy's going, oh, they should use this data to find cyclists. What a complete complete crock of shit. If they had have actually engaged anyone who knew anything about Strava, GPSs, bike data, anything like that, they would have known that that article was complete garbage. I did comment as such as well on the ride, but what a cock. Really. That's all I've got to say about that. But if they do look at the average speeds, I mean, you could probably sit there and fine people if they're going too fast. But I mean, if I got a speeding fine on a bike, I'd frame that bastard. How do I rip the data off Strava? Is it a program you could share? Nope. I'm probably violating API. The API, I'm not sure if I'm violating in terms of services, but how I'm pulling down the data that isn't provided within the API probably would be. Best bottom bracket I've had, not the ones I'm currently. Press fit bottom brackets, shit me. This shift creaks like an old wooden house no matter what I do. There we go, press fit. Okay, thoughts on 3 Peaks for a guy that's been riding only a couple of years. Go at your pace. Don't hold a wheel if you can, but if you're going to go into the red early, you're going to have a bad day. But just hold your pace. Let people go past, or hold a good wheel, but just pace yourself. Drink and eat a lot. If someone wins A grade crit championship, a grade crit champion, and one race left in the season, should they race again? The next high grade, the next season. Grading issues. That's a hard one. Yep. Race up until you just can't even finish your race, or you're not competitive. And if you're not competitive, then you race back down. A lot of people hover in A grade or want to reach A grade who are never competitive in A grade. They just like the fact that they're an A grader. The ranking system in Australia is completely different to anywhere else. It's sort of just a handshake deal. There's clubs doing better things with it, but yeah. How do I train with me? I'm in Sydney. Move to Melbourne. I'm in Melbourne. Tips for a junior cyclist. Ride your bike. Just ride. Don't worry about sponsors. Don't worry about getting tied up in any of that bullshit. Just ride your bike. And if you enjoy it, everything will fall into place. Don't crash on the way down falls. There's a good tip. Sorry, just scrolling through the questions here. I'm critical of stages. Yeah, absolutely, because they sell a power meter that's meant to be accurate. And sometimes mine isn't, so I'll be critical of that, for sure. If you pull out the little plates inside and put a new battery in and zero it, it's okay. But when it then just starts to drift off, that kind of it shits me off. It's like, you can't be sold one thing that doesn't do another. This is an old stages though. The new ones are probably better, but I don't sell the things. I don't get any kickback if people buy them or not. Any tips for a climber? Climb more hills. Make sure your gearing's right. If you're using a power meter with Zwift, do I need to calibrate the kicker too? If so, how often? Probably do a spin down every now and then. But if you're not using it for a power meter, it just becomes a smart brake or a smart resistance unit. So your power meter is where the power's at. If you're using erg mode though, you've got to use the power meter from the device or from the kicker for erg mode to actually work. Which smart trainer gives you the most realistic road feel on Zwift at the moment? Okay, the Lama, but it's not a smart trainer. The Hammer's pretty good. The Neos, it feels a bit digital. It's close, but I've got the unfortunate position of having all the trainers and comparing them all like within a few minutes of each other if I swap them out. So you can feel the difference. The Hammer's actually pretty good for road feel, but the kicker does well. Look, there's nothing that's really horrible. Okay, 5-minute power multiple of FTP. Do you have an average for me? I'm not sure what you mean there. If you're looking at trying to estimate FTP from a 5-minute power test, it's going to be pretty hard. Stages dash. Haven't looked at it, but look, I'm not quite sure that there's going to be any game changes in regards to head units and what they display. I display distance, 3-second power, cadence, heart rate. That's pretty much all you need to know. Someone's on the Le Mans right now. How the hell can you hear me then? What do I think of the Copenhagen road machine? They're old school. It feels a bit like pedaling, a bike with slick tires up a grassy hill. They're good training. I haven't tried the new ones yet, though. Rock and roll for swaying motion. Yeah, no one else has really gone that way for the swaying motion. Indoors is for strength and fitness. Outdoors is for skill. You're not really ever going to develop sprint power indoors, or sprint skill indoors. Sorry, sprint power kind of, but it's... Yeah, indoor trainers have got to go somewhere because they're all very static. So whether it's moving side to side, whether they're going to start, putting them on plates like that, those belt-driven running machine things, nah, not yet. Oh, sorry for getting screams. There's a primary school outside here and there's kids running around everywhere. Use a gaming computer. I use a gaming computer to run Zwift. Yeah, the old Alienwares, they push Alien computers heavy. Yeah, they do. And if you get... what's the overclocking thing there? Hang on one sec. I'll just close this window here. I'm getting this kid screaming. Some overclocking software. You can squeeze a little bit more out of those devices. If it blows up, then so be it. They're quite cheap. I should try out the Stack Zero trainer and do a review for it. I can tell you... I haven't got any contacts to Stack, and no one's... it's funny. Sponsors aren't calling. People aren't calling me, so this is just YouTube with me and a camera. That really is the reality of it. But the Stack Zero trainer... Here's what's going to happen. As soon as you throw in a massive sprint on that, it's going to shit itself. It cannot. That device, the way it's designed, I'm happy to be proven otherwise. MSI Afterburner. There we go. I've got that lined up on the whitelist of videos to do Afterburner. It's kind of cool. Another way to avoid your warranty. Yay. The Stack trainer. There's no way. If you haven't got a direct connection to that wheel, you're going to slip that thing out straight away. For steady state stuff, maybe. But again, once I get one, we can talk about it. If I get one. Thought about adding weights in the spoke nibble for balancing your wheel. Yeah, absolutely. Fernando, with that question, there's a few different ways to skin that cat for balancing a wheel, for sure. The way I've done it is just it's just a quick, cheap way to do it. Thoughts on Quark power meters? Love my Quarks. I've got one on the Shiv, one on the S-Works, and Von's got one on hers as well. They've been very, very reliable. We can calibrate them ourselves. Firmware updates have been great. Yeah, quite like them. I was looking at a D0 until I found out the one I needed was about $2,000. And then I'm no longer looking at a D0. My CTL is plateaued. Yep, that's what sucks about chucking your numbers like that. You're like, oh shit, you'll get to a certain length and it's marginal gains from there on. Any tips or a plateau is normal? Yeah, a plateau will be normal, absolutely. You'll always just get to a certain level unless you do another breakthrough workout or change something in training. But if you're enjoying what you're doing and you're at a level that you're happy with, keep it there. If you want to improve in a certain area, though, just go nuts, dive into that certain area. It took me, I think my first time trial, I came third and went, no shit, I could actually do all right with this. And then we trained specifically for it, and then I won the next one at Tour of Bright. So from there, I'm like, this is it, and then I dived into that specific area of training. So while I was plateauing elsewhere, I'm not a sprinter, I'm not going to go anything over 1500 watts in a sprint. It's just not how I'm built. But in a time trial, I was going okay. Andreas, just thank me for what I'm doing. Keep up the great work. Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. As I was saying early on, this channel is really about the people. I'm not here to sell anything. I don't work for anyone to sell them. I do have the privilege of having a lot of equipment to talk about, but it's not what I'm here for. I'm selling T-shirts. That's about it. Redbubble. But yeah, it's just about utilizing the tech that I've got around me and just having a bit of positive influence. And yeah, YouTube allows me to do that, which is really cool. Kick a snap. He's picked one up. Mario's picked up a kick a snap and it's got a problem. Yeah. I haven't got a kick a snap, and I'm they're getting a bit old now, so I'm not sure whether I'll end up finding one. Maybe find one second hand. Have a bit of a play. 1500 SRM. What's all stages once? Someone's having a crack at stages with me. High fives for that. Love my kicker snap. Yeah, look, if everything's set up right, like with everything, they wouldn't sell a product that doesn't work. And it's something called the turbine that you stick up your nose and they sell you bullshit. But yeah, most of the stuff these days in tech, it either works or it doesn't. Best form of power meter, hub or pedals? Anything that's reliable. Anything that's reliable. I've I've sort of had them all, I think, over the years. I've only had one power tap really early on. Here's a story about a power tap. It was the first wireless one I think I had. It failed to work when the temperature got below 16 degrees. It took me 3 months to figure that out because indoors, 20 degrees, 21 degrees Celsius. As soon as you go outside, depending on the day, it'll never get below 16. But then after, if it gets below 16, the thing will cut out. And I could never, ever figure out what it was. I thought it was tram tracks. I thought it was 2.4 gig interference somewhere. It took me ages to figure it out. Once I'd nailed it, and Saris at the time, or they Power Tap, I think that was Saris at the time. It's Saris, Cyclops, and Power Tap are all the one company, different names. They were helping me, but until I could nail it, it was difficult. They sent me another one anyway. It's all sorted. Good video of fitting an 11-speed on a 10-speed hub. Yeah, that worked really well. Really happy with that. Drive chain losses. Yeah, look, a lot of people will talk about drive chain losses and losses in the system for different power meter readings. Look, there's a few percent here and there, which should be factored into the power meter. Like the hub should at least factor in a 2% loss for the drive chain. It depends on the chain line and things like that. But a lot of people are like, oh, my kicker's reading 20 watts low or 40 watts low, and someone will comment with, oh yeah, it's your power imbalance or it's your drive chain losses. And most of the time, they've sort of gone further beyond that, and it's not that kind of that kind of interference or kind of discrepancy. Sorry, someone driving past with a bike on the roof. Kicker Wahoo have released a new firmware for the Kicker 1, which puts it in model mode, not strain gauge mode. So the Kicker 1, if you've got one that reads out, you can now, there's another option now to go to model mode, which will have like a lot better power accuracy. Effectively it turns a Kicker 1 into a Kicker 16 or Kicker 2, the way it measures power. Very, very cool. And again, Wahoo, to sing their praises again, they've nailed it with that product. But 6-7 years old now, the Kicker 1 is pretty old. But for them to be able to release firmware that keeps doing, providing a good experience, providing your belt doesn't snap, it's all good. They do replacement belts. Jet Black Whisper Drive. Jet Black. I'm still yet to Google those guys. Haven't got any Jet Black at all. Has my wife always been supportive of my cycling? Yeah, she has. Yep. Which is kind of cool because I know a lot of people are saying, their wife or their partner, the amount of hours it takes into cycling, and it becomes an obsession. I'm sure everyone can relate with that obsession. 60 kilos enjoyed crit racing. I'm sure everyone else enjoys you as a 60 kilo rider in crit racing. Actually, you'd be a terrible sit. The smaller guys, you can't get any draft off them. Should I try other racing? Sure, if there's other races around, give it a shot. Jet Black, $300 brand new and it's silent. Any vibration issues with the kicker? No, luckily, but I could see if one was out, you'd really get some nasty stuff because those things really, really fang up to speed quite a lot. How did Von and I meet? At university in Ballarat. And over IRC? Come on, who's with me on IRC? ASL, yeah. Is SRM best regardless of cost? Yeah, but SRMs are a pain in the ass to change the battery in. Here in Australia, we have to send them to New Zealand, of all places, to get a new battery in. IRC, there we go. ASL, yes. ICQ, oh no, you're the next generation. If you're an ICQ, we're well off topic now. What's coming up? It's a long weekend here in Australia this weekend. So we've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off. Someone's doing, Dr. Mitch Anderson's doing a 12-hour record. DCC me some wares. You're my kind of people. Those are the days. So Mitch Anderson's doing a 12-hour record on a bike. I can't link things in a live stream, but if you're having a look, it's something about Mitch Anderson, 12-hour, St Kilda, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. He's riding around the crit track there, which is quite flat, so they'll have that cordoned off for the public holiday. Looking at about 480 kilometres, I think. But god damn, that's going to be a slaughterfest for him. I think he says he's been training for probably 18 months preparing for this. So if you're looking at something to look at in a couple of days, or if you're following, it'd be, what social media would that be on? Possibly St Kilda Cycling Club. What do I do for a living? I don't know. I was in IT security for 10 years. And the company that I was with merged, unmerged, so went and rode bikes for a while. Here I am. Is it worth getting a Stages for only measuring one side? If you don't have a power meter, yeah, get a Stages or get a 4i. Get something. Just get something and get into it. Know what the numbers are about. Know what your data's about. Collect some data. And if you want more, if you want to extend from that, then sell the Stages. Go buy something else. Just get it done. Get into it. If it's also, I find if you get something new for bikes, it's motivating to get on them and ride. Last night, couldn't be arsed riding a bike. Then the distributor for Apollo rocks up with a hammer. Says, oh, Shane, here, you got this for the long weekend. Fuck yeah, rode for 90 minutes. So just get new stuff, ride bikes. Okay, how much do I need to spend on a trainer to get erg mode? Haha. Look at Smart Trainer on a budget or cheapest Smart Trainer on a bunch ride. The Cubo, hang on, let me get this right. It's the Elite Cubo, digital Smart B Plus. I've got it's in my channel. You'll see it. And also on the GPLama indoor trainer guide. It's about $300 to $400 Australian, and you will get erg mode, which is crazy for that kind of money. It's a wheel-on trainer. The power can be a bit off, but if you just want erg mode and want to train hard, it's a good way to start. What software do I use to edit footage? Well, nothing, which is brilliant because it cost me no time. Final Cut Pro, Verb Edit, and yeah, that's about it. Final Cut Pro, though, on the Mac. Elite has a weird naming scheme. Absolutely, they do. And they've got about 17 trainers. Have I tried the new Neo firmware? Yes. And yes, thumbs up. It holds erg mode a little better. Yeah, erg mode. What is erg mode? Erg mode is when your trainer says, if you want to jump on the bike and ride hard, well, it's the opposite to riding outdoors, the way I call it. And I'm not a fan of it. I can see what it works for, and I can see that people love it. Okay, so erg mode. If you say, okay, to the trainer, I want to do 300 watts for X amount of time. Let's just say I want to do 300 watts. Then no matter what cadence you pedal at, the trainer will say, I'm going to apply 300 watts of resistance. And you've got nowhere to hide. If you want to pedal faster, it'll still be 300 watts. If you want to pedal slower, it'll still be 300 watts. If you're feeling a little tired, it'll kick you in the ass because you've got to do that 300 watts. And if you're at threshold, if that's your threshold and you've got to fight for everything, and what you get at 300 watts is 305, 295, 310, 300. It's not quite smooth. It's close enough. It will kick your ass. I hate it, to be honest. I can't stand, especially at threshold. Sub-threshold, if you've got to just tick out, sub 80%, 90%, you can just, it's just keep it doing, turn the pedals. It's okay, but at threshold, when it bumps you over threshold, that little bit, you'll get cooked. And that little bit below, that's not enough to recover. So a lot of people can't hold erg mode any more than 95% of threshold. Some people need it because they need to be kicked in the ass to actually keep doing the training session that's been prescribed or they want to do. For me, out on the road for a time trial though, no one's sitting on the bike saying you pedal at 300, 350, 380, whatever. You've got to choose to do it yourself. So there's a lot of mind game in training in certain zones as well that you've got to be there automatically in your brain. Have I heard of Be Cool? Yes, I have. And no, I don't own one. I haven't tried one. I've tried a beta one years ago, but Jet Black Whisper will make your girlfriend love you long time. What? I've got a Neo. The Drivo is pretty quiet too, and the Hammer's not. It's pretty quiet. All agreed. Erg mode is garbage. Why don't I like the Be Cool? I don't not like it. I just don't have one. They also closed their Bluetooth protocol as well, so I don't think it works with Zwift, Trainer Road, Sufferfest, Full Gas. Look, erg mode has its place. It does have its place, but for me, if I've got to hold that zone and just fight, I don't know how to even. I'll think about it on the bike in a couple of days. How to explain how to get into that zone and hold it there. If you're a bike rider who do threshold efforts or above, you know what it's all about. Uphill aero bar intervals. Yes, good strength work. The Le Mans makes it. Geez, that makes the Le Mans the divorce trainer. I've got 3 Le Mans. I'm thinking of lining them all up so the resistance will change based on whichever has the air intake on it. Hey, Slane and I did take our Le Mans up to altitude once. We're at Falls Creek at 1,700 meters, and we had to go down a few gears for the same speed because it works on air resistance. There's science at work. I think Slane's background picture on his Facebook is us training up at altitude looking over the valley. It's a great shot. Good times. That's when we were training up for the Nationals 2013, I think. Any chance someone would make it a smart fluid trainer that would have an adjustable fins on the inside the turbine? That's interesting, and I like your way of thinking, because you've got, think outside. That's definitely outside the square. Probably not. Reason being is that there'll be moving parts inside that, which could then break. And even belts. And I mean, look at the Flux if you want to see problems with moving parts. I do have the Cura, K-U-R-A, by Elite downstairs. It is a smart fluid trainer with one of those kick-ass 1% or even better smart trainer power meters inbuilt. Still feels like you're sort of pedaling a bucket of water, but I've only had the bike on there for a couple of seconds. I've got to get on there and ride this weekend to do a video on it. Supporting Maven for IndyPack. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm fully behind him. But you can't, there's no hand-ups. There's no other support you can do other than just wish them well. It's all independent. They've got to do their own things. Tips for racing coming off an illness. Totally hypothetical. Depends. If you're sick and it's a good taper, sometimes getting sick before a race, it forces you to taper. Because a lot of people go into a race overcooked. So you can hope for the best for that. If not, pull the pin, set your goals next time. For FTP tests, I watch cadence. I find it more easy than power. Yeah, it's a strange one. There can be mind games. If you're looking at a power number for an FTP test and you can't hit that number, you start thinking negative thoughts. You're never going to hit that zone. Sorry, just going back through the questions here, everyone. Thanks for hanging around. Frozen dates, hell yeah. Just going to scroll through a few here and pick a few out. I'll get a better setup in the near future here so we can do more of these, because I really appreciate everyone jumping on board, listening to me ramble, and we'll talk about the other stuff that comes up. But if I can, I'll get the chat happening here with some overlays and stuff, and we can talk about what's going on during the week. How many hours a week do I do? Probably about 10 to 12 hours a week. Not a lot. Absolutely not a lot. They're not massive Ks that I'm doing, but it's specific for what I need to do. And if a target race is only 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, 2 hours, doing massive Ks is just an absolute mind game. Why did Greg stop making his indoor trainer? I don't know. Le Mans sold to another company, then he bought back the trainer business. I think Le Mans are more about the spin bike kind of stuff rather than the actual trainer. Last I heard, they spent more times in courtrooms than they did in boardrooms. Someone ripping someone off with a bike design or something like that. I don't know. It just got, crazy. I wish they'd get back to a trainer because I nailed that trainer. It's so good. What's my FTP? I haven't done an FTP test for a while. My current 5-minute power is around about 435 indoors. Outdoors probably 440, 450 maybe for 5 minutes. That's the zone that I know that I'm working on at the moment. Then I have to back probably about 5 of those. Won't be at that number though. Fastest clincher tire in your opinion? I think the S-Works Cotton Turbos are pretty good with a match with a latex tube pumped up to the correct temperature. Course of speed, there we go, there's another option there. Course of speed will only last about 800 Ks. Yeah. What we need is a Bluetooth fan that speeds increase with Zwift, whatever I think. Yeah, people have come up with different solutions for fans. Oh man, there's a sausage dog walking past. Everyone loves a sausage dog. Dash hound. Zwift won't do anything like that though. Zwift don't actually sell any hardware, so I don't see them sort of doing any more immersion. Which is kind of interesting. If they do go 3D route, they're going to have to bounce off other technology from 3D. Are Q-rings any good? We don't know. If you can say yes, if you can come up with the data that says Q-rings are good, we're all ears. At the moment, I'm not convinced that Q-rings. Have you ever crashed into an animal on your bike? A wombat. I've hit a wombat. And these things are just big. It was on a mountain bike. It sort of just bounced away. I stumbled off. Didn't fall, just stumbled off. What else have I hit? That's probably about it. I've had a rabbit run between my pedals. Poor wombat. No, poor me. Wombat was fine. Those things are solid. Let's go back through the questions here. Which do I think is more productive, indoor or outdoor training? They can both be whatever zones you want to be in. For me, if I'm doing 5x5, indoors. There's no stoplights. I don't have to put my head up. I'm right in the zone. And then I go outside and, apply that fitness. Today, really, really happy with where I was at with that. So it's not a this or that, better or the other. It complements. It's just an option. It's like saying, do I want to ride hill to get strong or do I ride into a headwind? You just use whatever's there. I do like indoors though. You can also do live streams and watch YouTube videos. First kangaroo that I ever saw in Australia jumped into me, kicked my bike over and jumped away. Did it first check your passport though? Because it doesn't do that to us. What do I mean by 5x5? It's my favorite interval session. So get a good warm up and go as hard as you can for 5 minutes. 5 minutes off if you want, 2 minutes off, 1 minute off, back into 5 minutes again. 5 minutes is a good duration that I like. It's just a session that I've always done for many years. It's worked for me. I've done shorter, I've done longer, but that's what I call 5x5. Am I vegan? Why not? No. No. Why not? Because it's not something I'll ever push on the channel or talk about. I don't have any. I'm not a nutritionist. There's enough of those on YouTube, isn't there? What time is it in Australia? It is 5:42 p.m. Is indoor power slightly less than outdoor? Yeah, absolutely. There's a few factors of why that'd be the case. Indoors, you're static, so you don't get any micro rest or It's just a lot easier to push harder outside. You're sort of moving around. It's more of your systems. I don't know how to explain it, but also the cooling as well. So inside, you'll overheat a lot easier. Outside, there's a lot of air moving around your whole body. But even using a big fan indoors doesn't really help that for whatever reason. Usually indoors it'll be warmer as well. So the heating's a big one. If you can get the heating right, but drink lots more indoors as well. Are you going to make a Tax Neo review? I bought one last week. I had a fun noise I had to go back to. I've done a Tax Neo review. I haven't done an unboxing / build / ride, but I've done a Tax blog post ages ago, well, mid last year on the Tax Neo. One thing to start playing with your mind as well. Have a look if your bike rocks more to the right than it does to the left. The bike is offset a little bit, so just watch that. Mine's been fine though. I jumped into the waters late with that. Wahoo Element or Garmin 820. There's a firmware update out for the 820 again today. I talk about the 5.20 update that was pretty good. It fixed all the issues of the screen. 6.20 came out today for the Garmin 820 updated. It was all fine. No things that I'd be using on it. The Element's kind of cool, has its place. If you like big numbers, simple use, and really good screen contrast, the Element will do the trick. Does Australia Kangaroo really punch? Peter North asks if the kangaroo actually punches themselves. They do. They sort of get each other in the head. Like, what you got to watch for a kangaroo, though, if you're ever near one, is they'll sit back on their tail and use their legs to kick and rip your guts out. If you just Google a kangaroo fight. They're nasty things. Usually they're okay. The tame ones you can feed and pat. Other ones want to rip your balls off. Do I have kids that ride? No. Hopefully one day, if they want to ride. A Zwift ride is a lot harder. Yeah, for sure. There's no way on a Zwift ride, the group dynamics, you can't sort of jump up to the back of a bunch, have a bit of a rest, and then sort of roll turns. There's none of that yet in Zwift. I just tried erg mode, had to switch it off mid-ride. You and me both, mate. You can always be that guy and sock the kangaroo in the face. Oh, that made me proud to be Australian. I'm not for animal cruelty or anything like that. But that guy did have his guy's dog in a headlock, so he sort of... That video was so Australian. It was so funny. He just sort of ponied up to him like a fight, and the guy's instinct was just to hook the roo, and the roo just shook its head. Funny stuff. I'm glad that went worldwide. Kangaroos will rip your balls off. Yeah, quote me on that. We should make t-shirts with that. Try the Kinetic InRide Bluetooth power sensor. Thoughts on accuracy? Yeah, no, I haven't got any of the new Kinetic trainers. Bit of a sad story there. They sent some trainers to me. Some media ones. I'm not in the media, but you know, I kind of am, I guess. They sent me some trainers for me to actually check out. I wasn't home at the time, and they didn't have the mobile number on there. So the trainers, they tried to redeliver them 2 or 3 times, and I wasn't home to even grab the little certificate. So they got sent back to the US, and I haven't seen them since. I think Kinetic aren't too happy with me for that, for not being home. But yeah, the ruin the guy shared a Bundy and Coke afterwards. That's exactly right. Nailed it. Do you think Zwift will be holding a land Zwift race here in Australia like the recent XRS? Yeah, I think they were talking about it. The XRS series, I don't think it's actually supported by Zwift. I'm not sure Zwift Corporate or Zwift HQ are behind that. So that's all people's own, off their own bat, which is a huge undertaking. What do they have, 12 Neos there? I think they've got Nathan Guerra involved. I'm sure Zwift love what they're doing, but I'm not sure they're involved. As for coming out to Australia, it's a bloody long way over here. If they're going to do it, it'd have to be in Melbourne. Melbourne's, the scene is just huge here. We've seen that in previous years as well. Hello from Mexico City. No kangaroos here, sadly. Don't you guys, isn't that just the drug cartels? They're a lot scarier than kangaroos. They'd rip more than your balls off. Edge 520 or Garmin Edge 820, which one to buy and why? Well, according to the stats we all just pulled out before from the orange Big Fondo ride here on the weekend, the 520 absolutely smashes the field. 820 works for me. I like the device pooling because I've got so many Ant devices to pull. If you like a touch screen, the 820's got an okay touch screen now. They've fixed that. The biggest problem I have with the 520, it had 110 megabytes of space. Megabytes. We're talking 1995 style space. So the maps were really shite. That was the biggest downfall of the 520. 820's got a ton of space on it for good maps. Yeah, wombats are not normal. They're brick walls with legs. For sure, for sure. What lights do I have? Good question. I got some more yesterday. The guy who dropped off the Cyclops hammer for me to ride for the weekend gave me some Nog lights. I think I've got a Nog front blinder, and I've got a rear one that's actually it's a flasher with a built-in reflector. Australian regulations now for races mean we have to actually run a rear light for time trials. Like, even though the road is marshaled and cordoned off, we still have to run a rear flashing light or a rear solid light. I don't know. I think if my opinion on that is, if someone's going to crash into me for not having that light, they should not be on the road. It's not as if we wear dark clothes. So Nog stuff, and they're an Australian company too, so I love that. What time is it in Australia? It's 5:45 in the evening. I believe Lance should give me my money back. Oh, how much did Lance borrow from you? Lance kind of got me into cycling. I watched one of his tours, and I'm like, hell yeah, you know, just, he was business. He got shit done. With the rest of the dirty cheats, but it's what it was back then. I don't condone it. If I can take some motivation from that, it's changed me for the fitter and a ton of other people for the fitter. Great. It's funny, the other day Lance had a US postal. He had an object returned or an item returned, and it says, "Oh, you owe us $1.05." And Lance has come back with, "I owe them $100 million and $1.05." It seems like. So even Lance is taking the piss. Garmin probably intentionally skimped on the 520, knowing that the 820 was on the way late. Yeah, I'm sure they do. You've got to hold things back. Like, I mean, look at what Shimano do with Ultegra 105. They've got to make them out of subpar materials. They know it. Like, ideally, it'd be nice to just have top it. Just make that in volume. Oops, sorry for the fingering. I'm sure Apple do the same as well. Where's my bloody headphone jack? Just going through the questions here, guys. Really appreciate people dropping by. I've got 138 in the channel. Look, these lives, it's hard to have one channel and keep things separate, because I do the Lama ride stuff of, here, come for a ride. We do the talking shit with Von, the Lama lives with Von. That's really cool. And then my tech stuff. It's all kind of different, but it's all mashed into one. So, I mean, these do get a few downvotes, but if it's not for everyone. Opinion on the Garmin 25? I don't have one, so don't know. But if it's cheaper and it gets people into bikes and measuring stuff and, say, onto Strava and beating themselves, all for it. Do you think Maven will finish the Indy Pack? I don't know. I've got no idea what those guys are going to be going through. We'll know more about, I guess, how everyone's going to go in the first week. Do I live in an area where bells are compulsory? Out on the road, having a warning device that's not your voice is compulsory, but you're not going to get pulled over for it. Favorite professional cyclist of all time? There's all different ones. I mean, Cadell was a nice guy, but don't step on his dog. The new generation, Richie Port. I mean, and it's just like hard workers, Matty Heyman. Let me name all the Aussies. Get the theme? Brendan Canty, I hope does really well. Yeah, but I mean, Sagan though. Sagan's the hero we need. Sagan is the hero the sport needs. He's, if you saw the other day, like where he finished a race and they come up with him with a heap of Haribo lollies and he's just shoved his face full of the lollies. A little girl, hopefully everyone saw it. If you follow Sagan on Twitter, a little girl posted the same. Her dad's obviously looks after her Twitter account. And she goes, oh, hopefully one day, or no, after a race I was really hungry or something. She grabs a heap of Haribo and she shoves them in her face. Sagan replied back saying something like, keep at it, follow your dreams, you'll do well, or something like that. And she's like, oh my God, Peter Sagan followed me back. But it was so cute. And that's the kind of heroes we need in the sport. So Sagan, and God, that guy can ride. And his answers to his questions, when the interviewer's like, oh, is that corner? Is that where you lost it? He's like, no. He's no bullshit. It wasn't where he lost it. It's sitting on the front of that race for the last 40K. I think is where he lost it. He knew it. How is winter in Australia? Do I still ride outdoors? Ask me in 6 months. It's currently summer. Wonder if there'll be an updated Edge 1000 soon. Yeah, hey, let's have a look at the Edge 1000s. Where was that in the whole scheme of things here? I've got some stats for, what did I say before? So there was a big 100, sorry to repeat myself, but there's quite a few people coming in and out. We've got some stats here from a Strava ride in Australia, big Grand Fondo. 180 or so people who have ridden last weekend. And out of, what was it? 430 devices. There was only 28 Garmin Edge 1000s. That came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth place for the Garmin Edge 1000. It's definitely not a race computer. No one uses the Edge 1000 in a race. Mountain bikers use it a bit, maybe for the bigger screens, bigger maps, maybe. But the Edge 1000 is not really a good seller. It really isn't. Tactical Z, thanks for having you along, man. 1:52 in the morning. That wouldn't be Canada, you'd be sort of mid-US. Grow a beard, just try it. It's probably the only place I can grow hair. Nah. Yeah, Sagan puts the fun back into cycling. Yep. Armstrong's the best. F all you haters. There we go. Support coming from every direction. Not like gummy. Okay, they were gummy bears. Yeah, it was just, sugar. 2006 Floyd Landis. Man, what was that stage where Flanders was like, how far was he down in the tour? And then he just smoked across the break and then rode him off the wheel. I think he had a power tap on. All I can remember is just seeing the power tap hub on his bike that year. What was that? Was that stage 16, 2006? Someone's going to know. But like for a ride, I don't give a shit what he was like. I do care what they were on if they were cheating everyone out of the game. But the physical effort and the mental game and the tactics behind that, that was just insane. I mean, Vinokurov, it's the same thing. Like his attacks on downhills, just things like that. East Coast USA, cool. Haven't been to the East Coast USA. I've been to West Coast. Is that how you throw the gang signs? Oh, shit, I better not throw gang signs. They'll get me. I've been West Side only. The little girl is not a nutritionist. She's not, but that was a beautiful, just even a gesture from Sagan to tweet her back. God, yeah. God, I'm 38, and I'm like, God, wish Sagan had tag me back. Not gonna happen. Polar products. Polar can hold the hand of CompuTrainer and enjoy their sinking ship. I'm not in marketing. I'm independent of the industry, so I'm happy to put my hand in my heart and say that. I've got a Polar Run Sense thing, but Polar stuck with wind, or it didn't go Ant because Garmin own Ants. So, do you know Polar make heart rate monitors for horses? Have I tried a Garmin Viera? Is it Viera? Radar? No, I haven't. That'd be pretty good though. I do a lot of Ks out in the middle of nowhere, country Victoria, to know if there's a car coming or something coming behind you, or a wombat. They'd be kind of handy if they work that way. In Denmark, everyone uses the 1000. Is that because there's so many roads in Denmark you need to have detailed maps? Interesting. I should pull some stats out of a Denmark Strava segment. Have I reviewed the 4i Power Meter? No. I was going to catch up with the guys over in Adelaide at the Tour Down Under. That never happened. I've been shooting them emails, but again, nothing up my sleeve. Don't really have any industry contacts, and yeah, no one's calling. If I get a hold of one, I will. I've also said, I think in the comments somewhere else the other day, I don't really hassle companies to give me free shit. It's not what I'm about. If I solve a problem, a lot of the stuff you've seen in the last 6 months, it's just problems I've solved, or things I've bought to solve a problem. Knocking the back of a cassette so I can save for some money on the Le Monde. Picking up a Le Monde for cheap. There's no other reason to talk about a 6-year-old trainer plus. But all the new trainers as well. I do like getting those and seeing where the technology is going. I still believe there's a lot more it can do. Did I race when you were younger? No, I think I started racing when I was 26. Please give me a shout out. Give me some context. 20% power battery. That's all right. You're going to have to give me some context to give you a shout out. Tell me something interesting. Or give me something to look at. Like that wheel. Hang on. Shout out to that wheel. Let me get that. What was it? The Copenhagen Wheel. I'll be looking into that later on. It's even got sound. We'll have to find out what that's all about. No, I didn't race when I was younger. Talking a bit later. I'm a bit disappointed about the direction indicators and the Garmin's car navigation systems. Yeah, what is your opinion? I use Waze in the car. I love the Waze app. It is so good. I don't use it on the bike though. Morning Lama. Craig Jackson. Yeah, man. One of the original gangsters. If you want to see when I first started taking up cycling, ask Craig about it. It was the BR ride. We used to go out and slaughter ourselves every 7:15 a.m. every Sunday morning from the Doncaster Plaza. Epic hilly route. Like even doing that route when I was fully fit, fully flying. It's a hard route. That got us super fit really, really quick doing that every week. But Sundays were a write-off after that. Absolute write-off. Is 10 speed still relevant? I hope so. My time trial bike's still 10 speed. Favorite Strava lab project? Strava Kudos. I think I am. It's Kudo. It's Strava Kudo, they call it. Strava Kudo. But you can see who gives you kudos, all the stats behind that. There we go. labs.strava.com/KODOS. Kodos. It's not kudos as in the way it's spelt. Athlete rank 52nd. My Strava's not bad. I think it's the Zwift market. Kodos, that's the one. A lot of people on Zwift, Strava and Zwift go hand in hand. They're really closely linked. So I think a lot of my early work on Strava got a few followers from there. And I love a good thumbs up as well. If I'm doing any events or looking at events, I'll set the thumbs up on everyone who's either done it or flybys and stuff like that. So yeah, Strava. I'm still keen to see where Strava's going to go. Why don't I live stream on Strava? Why don't I live stream Strava on the website? You mean live stream Zwift? My uplink is absolute shit. This video here, which has gone for 88 minutes, has cost me about $20 so far in bandwidth. I can't. It's just not feasible. The bandwidth cost here. As soon as I can get a link, or we're pretty much looking at moving house to get more than 1 megabit upload. Do I use Training Peaks? Yes, I do. I use it just to track my training history and the numbers and what training got me to a certain point of fitness. And I can go back through that after the history. Am I using Zwift for organised training or just riding along? Both. The last week I've done a couple of races on Zwift, mainly because I'm sort of doing things during the day and I've loaded up the phone. It's like, there's a 10k time trial in 15 minutes. Bang, kit up and go. I've done some of the group rides that then turn into a race at the end. They're kind of cool because they're for everyone. You can jump into a massive race and just ride along, get towed around by the bunch, and the last lap is on. So if you want to go, go. If you don't, you just drop back with everyone else. Where did I learn about training? The internet. Books. Bought every book I could find. Internet and just trial and error. Today's plan, no, I haven't. today's plan probably pretty much came along when I was getting just too over the numbers. I track my 5, 10, and 20-minute powers. That's how I know where I'm at. That's a really simple way of doing things. Today's plan, yeah, sure, it has merit, but I don't, yeah, no. Yeah, I've just blocked Tech Lover, don't worry. Oh, have I? No, I didn't. Tech Lover, come on, man. One more and you're gone, buddy. I use the power of finger. Giving you a shout-out is not going to help. I've given you a negative shout-out. Does that help? Shampoo or soap? Oh, God, what? There we go. Now he's shut him up. How do I buy a Lama t-shirt? There we go. Okay, sales pitch, because I better identify that because it pisses people off when they think I'm selling something. You can buy these on Redbubble. If you just type in Redbubble, GPLama, it'll come up with that. I don't blast out people. You know, I get like $2 or $3. You can buy them worldwide. But yeah, if you do end up buying one, send me a photo. Yeah, the live stream. It's going to rain tomorrow. I'm just having a little rain app popped up here. High of 30 degrees tomorrow here, though. That's all right. So if everyone wants to get jealous of our weather, Redbubble, yeah, redbubble.com, and it's the GPLama portfolio. I want to go at the. Yes, I want to go at the end of a Zwift race. But what happens when I'm dropped and I'm DQ'd? My FTP is too high for the category. Then you just got to choose another category. You'll find your groove once you got your numbers. You'll find your groove. Can I explain Lama? God's Pet Lama, as in Dalai Lama, as in a name from high school from years and years ago. Just think of alpacas. It's all good. Yeah, somebody said the smell like fish t-shirt with the Neo thing. Yeah, and they said I smell fish. Something was it? Tax for the fish. Yeah, as in the what was that movie again? End of the World one. It's getting late. Sorry, if I use that finger on that side, I can't see the questions. What was my first bike? The first race bike, Giant OCR 1 with 105.9 speed. What was my favourite bike I've owned? I don't get attached to bikes because I really don't. Hang on. Okay, this is Australia. I've just had a spider crawl off my camera here. Can you see that? That little... It's probably out of focus, but there's a spider. Hey, buddy. I don't get attached to bikes. They break. The bike doesn't care about how I feel. I don't care about how it feels. But I don't mind the S-Works Tarmac. That was a good bike for me. Killer Spider. You really do love the Giant brand. No, look, No, I don't. I bought that frame second hand. If it snaps, I wouldn't be too sad. Take a few photos of it for social media, but yeah, the TCR does all right. Are you excited about IndyPack? Yeah, I'm keen to see how they all go. Darby Curry from up in Darwin. We met Darby when we were up there. I'm keen to see how she goes. Obviously, Jessie's going to be like the competitive end as well. Am I Australian? Yep. Anyone? I got offended in the US. Someone called me a New Zealander. Shout outs to New Zealanders. Boo. Just kidding. New Zealand's all right. Anything good out of New Zealand we'll claim for our own. Are carbon clinchers a flawed product? Yeah, absolutely they are. Trying to dissipate heat, right, like that much heat, right where you need integrity and full gripping strength of the clincher itself, and not things to heat up. That is a flawed design for sure. Douglas Adams, thank you. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Thank you, Duncan. Really appreciate it. As I said before, and I'll say it over again, and I'll continue to say it, I really, really appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate the support, the comments, the additions to comments, keeping me honest when I stuff things up. Because, yeah, that's the value I've got. Again, I'm not selling anything. I'm not a channel. I'm not corporate. This is not marketing shit. This is just me talking bikes and sharing my experience, but also sharing it with everyone as well. So I've got a wheel to look up here as well tonight. Jet black trainers I've got to look into. But this stuff really, if everyone's watching and getting something out of it, I'm getting twice back. So I do appreciate this. And that's not bullshit. Do I have lizards? I don't have pet lizards, but there's lizards around. Yeah, sure. Chili bins and jandals. I don't have pet lizards. I saw a squash one today. Favorite professional cycling team? Orica, but they got a bit lame for a while, but they're coming back into fashion for me. Orica. Isn't cycling's a weird one because the team name is the sponsor. I don't know any other. What other sport is like that? I guess car racing. But yeah, you really want to barrack for a team that's a team. I mean, here we have AFL football, but cycling's a weird one. They just keep moving. We'll see when the real season starts kicking off. I still love that. Do I have lizards question? I've got photos of lizards. The blue tongue lizard's pretty cool. You've got lizards. Awesome. Best tyres I've ridden. Engannon. I'm the Roubaix, Specialized Roubaix, 23, 25s, whatever the hell they are now. They're kind of bulletproof. They're not the fastest around, but they do all right. I had some Continental Ultra Sports. They're not the Ultra Race, the Ultra Sports. I even think they were wire bead. They were soft as hell. They wore out. I think I chewed through a brand new one on a trainer with one session. But out on the road, they gripped like nothing else. But that's old school. I'm sure there's a lot better stuff around. You got baby bearded dragons, and they're cute. Send me a photo. I want to see these bearded dragons. Yeah, Orica's been amazing the last 3 years. Yeah, it's really good to see what they're doing. And they've embraced social media as well. Dan Jones, I've met Dan a few times. We saw him at Mountain Beauty a couple of weeks ago. What they're doing and embracing social media, because that's what it's all about. That's what pays the bills for those guys. As I was saying, the team name is the sponsor name. And without that, without recognition, and that sort of, I guess it adds integrity to them as well in the stories. Love it. Absolutely love it. And Heyman winning Paris-Roubaix. Come on. How awesome's that? I've actually had Heyman email me for an ant stick when he was in Australia. That was pretty cool. Which AFL team do I support? None. Kinda. Maybe Carlton when I was a kid. Green Edge. Yeah, was I calling him Green Edge? What are they? Orica Scott now? Where you start's where you stuck. Yeah. Will Maven finish Indy Pack? I hope so. Jeez, I've got screaming kids outside. I'm sorry if you're hearing that. Orica because of their backstage pass content. Yeah, absolutely. It gives us something to watch every race. It gives us an insight. Was it in the car when Heyman won the Paris-Roubaix and Matty White's punching the car and it's just, yeah, how good is that? Like, you can't, that's not faked, Though having said that, they did fake a finish once because I think Jonesy didn't have the camera on, so they reshot one of the finishes. What race was that? That was pretty funny. But they told us the story. They were transparent with that. It was pretty funny. Was Von into cycling when we met? Not really. She still rode bikes, though, but not competitively. Shimano Ultegra is good. Ultegra is what? I run Ultegra wheels. Ultegra cranks. Yeah, they're a good price point. That was staged. Yeah, the stage one. But they told us the story, which was pretty funny. I think their Call Me Maybe video worked all right. And then they had another one, which I think what Von would call strained content, where you try and make something, it's like to go viral or something. I don't think the next one, was it the guitar one that didn't work too well? I'm not sure. But hey, they're trying. What else is happening in the world of videos? I've got the Cyclops hammer to look at this weekend and also the Elite Cura. I'm doing an unboxed talk about. Let's have a ride. Let's try and rip some sprints out and see the power, compare the power. So that's up for this weekend for me. What's everyone else up to? Hi from Spain. Do I use Garmin Iq? No, I haven't added any extras. I just track 3-second power and distance and cadence. Is the Giant TCR the best option for use when training and then racing? Maybe. They're good value out of the shops, but whatever you can find. Kebal Kuta's good. I have no idea what they are, or even how to pronounce that. How do I find an aero wheel for disc brakes? Yeah, that's an interesting one. We wait and see what they do. Doing nothing for the long weekend. Sweet. I'm on 10% battery, guys, so I'll be departing soon. There's a good road bike at work. Craig, get on it. Pair of bolt cutters. If it doesn't work out, there's always Craigslist or eBay. Gatorade Try. Rock and roll. Is that a Melbourne or is that a local one? Let me know where that's at. I do pull out some stats from the tries as well to see what those swim bike runners use for devices. Shiv or P5? Is that the P5, that really ugly thing? It's the rider. Wow, I'm getting Illuminati stuff in here. I've made it. Yeah. Full coming over to tell you. No, don't go. Yeah, no, my battery's running out. This has cost me, this is what, an hour and 100 minutes? Yeah, it's cost me a bit of money. How did I become a Lama? Many years of training. Port Arlington. And you'll be the one Wahoo Elements user. All right, I'll keep an eye on your stats, mate. Oh, that's the P5X that looks like a spaceship. Okay. Now, look, what bike is better than the other? It's, look, as long as it's reliable, because a bike with a broken front wheel. Hey, Team Sky, 3 broken front wheels. Whatever bike they're on didn't really matter. What does it look like at the front of you? As in my house? Are you with that murderer again? Trying to profile me. Alrighty, I'll leave it there, guys. Yes, your house. There we go. All right, I'll leave it there while the murderer's trying to get me. Have a frothy tonight, Shane, for the lads. Thanks everyone for coming along. Pretty chilled. I should have had a coffee so I could go harder and cram this into a lot more time. But again, really appreciate everyone's views, everyone's comments. As I said before, I can't take requests on equipment if I haven't bought it myself. But if you've got some ideas of, what's out there or what's around, again, I've got that wheel to look into. So any new tech that I can be exposed to, because if I don't know what's out there, I don't know what's out there. So yeah, everyone who's commenting and watching, even if you haven't talked in here, the stats sort of show that people show up and watch. So really, really appreciate that. And look, let's see what we can do with this channel. More rides, more Von, definitely lots more Von. We all love Von. And we'll have a chat to say vegan cyclists. We'll keep an eye on Maven. Mitch Anderson, Dr. Mitch Anderson on Monday doing the 12-hour. Let's keep an eye on that for him and give him some support online. What else is going on? What else is going off is my battery. So we'll leave it there. Thanks for viewing again. And keep riding, keep fit, and drink more water. There we go. There's a nutrition tip. Cheers, guys. Let's get some coffee.